Yo, what's up, guys? Let's talk about sets that just don't recover and throwing your money away. I hear people talk about Pokemon GO, Shrouded Fable, Crimson Invasion, Steam Siege. Stay away from those sets, man. I'm telling you. You're going to get these sets and you're going to get into a phase where you can't offload it because you're always going to be in the next cycle where it's like, let's look at Sword and Shield right now. Sword and Shield's probably going to go on a little run. Okay. You're going to see all these other sets going up, and then it's going to pull. It's pulling Shrouded Fable up with it. Okay. That doesn't mean Shrouded Fable is gaining attention. It's going up. It's getting pulled, dragged, actually. Okay. It's getting dragged. All right. And take it from somebody who has had products like this in a market. It is hard to sell that stuff. And you're not going to get it at your 85% premium, even if it's sealed. They're not going to want to do it. They're not, I don't want it. They're going to say 80% on if it's sealed, if it's just open boxes or forbid packs. You're looking at a really tough sell, unless it's one of those alternate art with the Greninja or Seadra. It's going to be a hard sell. Don't get caught in those phases where it's just like everything goes up. Yeah, everything goes up, but you're still putting your, if you're trying to really fine tune how you invest, these are things you need to look at. If you can go and get it at 65%, I don't mind that. And you can because people will sell it. They're just trying to offload it. But if you can get it at 65%, then go for it. But even now, this market's a little bit weird. A lot of people are getting weird, kind of pulling back on the buying. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the average of, I buy at 80, drop down to 75 or 70. Be ready for that. A lot of people are kind of confused how this market's going right now. To me, I'm still bearish. Okay. I'm still bearish on it. If it comes to selling most of my stuff, I'm not selling it unless it's at 85. But even then, I don't really want to sell right now. I think I'm in a good spot. I like where I'm at. But yeah, I mean, it's going to differ for every collector. If you're a collector who is living on debt, you need to be flipping. And I worry that a lot of people that are kind of doing credit card debt, it's scary how you guys collect. I get you're taking a risk and you're changing your situation, but be careful. If you're doing that, you need to be flipping pretty quick. For me, I'm in a spot where I can just kind of sit on stuff. So this stuff that I like to sit on is usually premium things. But again, it's just kind of a video that I'm just throwing out there to make a video, but it's been something that I've been seeing people do. If you're picking up product that is basically bottom tier and it's getting dragged with other sets just because it's the cheapest version of that era, be careful. Because those ones are hard to offload. I've had to do certain sets that just didn't do well. I remember Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion was one. That was really rough. Even XY, you could throw it back to XY, but XY ended up kind of having a phenomenon like where there was this, all of a sudden, this hype around base and people couldn't afford base. So they went to the next best thing, which was XY kind of refaced and a modern, cheaper version. That was back in the 2020s. So that one got bailed out, but it's not going to be like that for a lot of these sets. Shrouded Fable. And yes, you're going to hear people saying, yes, it's gone up, or Pokemon GO. I know Nostalgianomics is really big on these. And he's the GOAT. You can't take anything from him. He has absolutely made a million amazing calls with going when everybody wanted to do vintage. He went modern, profited from that. Amazing play. But also, you know, he's in Pokemon Go and Shrouded, and you'll hear him say he's in the hobby enough to where he knows what he should be investing in, and that's right. He is. He shouldn't be investing in those sets because he knows better now. And he's admitted to this, and I'm not faulting him in any way, shape, or form, but it's just you guys can learn this early. You don't have to be a PokeTuber. You don't have to be doing this for years. If you're watching this video, if you got here somehow, you know, obviously I'm not like a big PokeTuber. Yeah, I don't even know what niche I would probably be in. Maybe like market psychology. I don't know. I don't know how you got here, but if you are here, you obviously do your research. So I guess my point to that is trust your gut. If you have been doing this research, if you do have that knowledge, don't hesitate to really kind of invest in what you believe. And I think another thing that I've seen people kind of do, which is interesting, it was a surprise to me. When you believe in a set, for me, I go heavily into that thought. I go heavily into that set. I invest in it over and over and over again. Something I've seen a lot of newer collectors do is once they buy, say you think Prismatic's going to do well, and you buy a case, or we can keep it simple. You buy a booster ETB. You buy an ETB. Well, now you bought it. So now you're like, well, what's a different investment I can do? And you go and buy a Destin Rivals Pokemon Center ETB. It's like, but you thought Prismatic was going to be the best set. Why didn't you just buy another 2 or 3 of those? You know, why did you move on to Destin or something like that? Like, if you think that is going to be the best play, don't doubt yourself. You know, I see a lot of people do that where they'll buy one thing, or say they buy a case, then they never buy that case again because they're like, oh, I already have one. Like, don't cut your gains because you already have it. I understand the collector mentality. You want one of everything. But at the same time, if your goal is to profit off of this or make money eventually, and you have the opportunity in front of you, take the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. You know, if you want to diversify and have a bunch of different things, I get that too. But anyways, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. If you really do have a gut feeling on a product, don't hesitate to pick that up, you know, but also you don't have to go heavy into all these other products, and definitely not products that are getting dragged along the way. Anyways, short video. I wasn't bashing on anybody. Again, Nostalgianomics, and then it's the GOAT. So just kind of a thought process where I hope you guys don't make that mistake. If you're an early collector, don't be afraid to have multiples of one thing. Okay. Anyways, short video, but yeah, peace out.